The Coffin of Andy and Leyley. The game blew up across the internet because of its interesting content. Our main protagonists, Andrew, also known as Andy, and his sister Ashley, also known as Leyley. They might seem lovely, and maybe even respectful citizens, but you can't be more wrong if you thought so. In the game, they first ate a cultist, then killed a guy and sacrificed his friend to the demon, then killed a girl, shot a hitman, and then sacrificed their parents to the demon and ate them. As you can see, not really the type of people you want to be your neighbor or friends, or you probably think it will be better for them not to exist. If you think that way, then congrats, you are a normal human being. However, if you think this way, then you need to reconsider your life choices. My point being, these two are horrible individuals that are a menace to society. Now you just might wonder, how did this happen? After all, they can't be born like this, right? And if you think this way, you might just be correct. So if you want to create these two beings for your own, then here's a guide by Miss Graves on how to nurture your children until they become psychopaths and murderers. Now, if you want your children to grow up to be psychopaths, you will need to be as irresponsible as humanly possible. Firstly, be an idiot and have your first child at the age of 15. This clearly shows how irresponsible Miss Graves is. Like, how much of a screw up in school you must be to not realizing having a child at this age is a horrible idea. As if that's not irresponsible enough, she, being a genius she is, decides to have another child at 17 years old. Although this action could be caused by poverty, lack of educational goals, or even poor family relations, it still doesn't deny that this reckless act will have affected how Andrew and Ashley grow up to be. According to the National Institute of Health, quote-unquote, they, as in the children of the teen parents, frequently are less healthy than the children of older married parents. Their school performance is less favorable, and also, quote-unquote, in addition to problems with cognitive development, the offspring of teenage parents grow up with more social impairments, such as poor anger control, fearfulness, and the feeling of inferiority. They also demonstrate mild behavior disorders, such as rebelliousness, aggression, and impulsiveness. As we do see in the game, these descriptions fit Ashley and Andrew very well. Ashley is often told as to have bad performance in school, and moreover, finds it very difficult to befriend others, often being seen as weird by her peers. Ashley is also very fearful, especially fearful on losing Andrew. On the other hand, Andrew, although being the perfect child his parents think he is, has poor anger control and is aggressive at times. For example, in the first episode, every time Andrew is angry with Ashley, he straight up starts shouting at Ashley and sometimes even physically threatens her by choking her. He also killed a girl in the apartment because he didn't want to leave any witness, which to me is a very aggressive and impulsive action. But all that could have been avoided if Miss Graves had been a better parent and just not being an idiot. If you want your children to hate you so much, and eventually they sacrifice your soul to the demon and then decapitate and eat you, you need to follow this step very carefully. Miss Graves demonstrates this step perfectly by simply not be there for Andrew, and just simply not care for Ashley at all. Growing up, Miss Graves finds out that Andrew is a good kid, and favors him over Ashley by a huge portion. Andrew had birthday parties, Ashley don't. Andrew got allowance money, but not for Ashley, and he even gave Andrew her address when she decides to leave him forever. And again, no Ashley. In the eyes of Miss Grace, maybe what she did to Andrew made him such a good kid, but he also acted like a parent for Ashley when she's not there. So why not keep it that way forever? Every time in game, when Ashley talks to her mother, Miss Graves simply tries to end every single conversation with, quote, "Besides, isn't Andrew there with you?" Or, "Shouldn't you be bothering Andrew by now?" Showing her lack of attention to Ashley, and she giving away the responsibility for Ashley 100% to Andrew. In Miss Graves' mind, she probably thinks that Andrew could replace her. She's already stressed out by work and money anyways. Why not deduct some more workload for her then? But her action may just have created our two protagonists. We all know that Ashley don't have any friends in school, as everyone saw her as weird and unlikable. Now her own parents don't even want to interact with her. Her only parent is Andrew. Only Andrew is willing to talk to her, to laugh with her, and to protect her. Understandably, over time, this only made Ashley grow a strong obsession for Andrew. Because what if even Andrew left her? She will be all alone in this unforgiving society. Her view on herself is that she is a failure. At this point of her life, people from school see her as weird, and no one liked her. Her parents didn't even want to talk to her, let alone help her with her problems. To her, Andrew is the only person in the entire world that mattered to her. Only he cared for her when everyone she knows don't. Andrew is also the only person who can help her with her emotional issues. Making Ashley growing up, always finding out ways to keep Andrew for her. Manipulating him into doing everything she asks, and even harassing and killing those who liked Andrew. As she says, "What do I do about these hussies around me?" She is in constant fear on if Andrew is going to leave her or not. She will even fuck Andrew just to keep him from leaving her in the romantic burial routes, saying, "I don't know about that, but it certainly showed me one way to keep him around." Theoretically, if Andrew were a parental superior figure to Ashley, then maybe the events of the game wouldn't have happened. Maybe they can actually be good citizens in a society together. But over time, the guidance Ashley needed from a parental figure is not given, as Andrew don't think himself as a parental figure, therefore stepping down from this role. In the same role as Ashley, Andrew saw himself as a friend to Ashley, thinking into work together, and he needs to listen and make Ashley happy in order to make the family be like other families and live in harmony. He acted like a brother to his sister Ashley, which would definitely work in any normal family with parents. But without a parental figure, both of them just falls into evilness and darkness. For example, picture this. When you were 10 years old, you probably would be very happy if you could eat candy for every single meal. Of course, your responsible brother is going to tell you, "Mom doesn't allow you to eat candy for even breakfast." But as long as you play your cards right, you can convince him to eat the candy together. He's just a kid like you after all. He doesn't know what's right or wrong. However, your mom comes over and tells you that eating candy is bad, and punishes you and your brother for trying to eat candy for breakfast. Although she's annoying, she is right. She tells you the correct thing to make your life be better, even if you do not realize it at that moment. In our case, Leyley, the younger version of Ashley, and Andy, the younger version of Andrew, were children. Andy around the age of 10 and Leyley the age of 8. Leyley, in order to combat her fears of Andrew leaving her, had to reaffirm her status to Andrew. She needed to get rid of Nina, who had a crush on Andrew. Being a responsible parental figure at the start, he mentioned multiple times to Ashley that they shouldn't let Nina go. But being a great loving brother he is, it only took Ashley to shed some tears for him to use a stake to close the chest Nina is locked in, resulting in her dying of suffocation. If Andrew were an actual responsible parental figure to Ashley, he would have simply said no, and talked with her on this matter instead of doing something so irresponsible. Similarly, Andrew cannot leave Ashley as well. Ashley was given to his care as a responsibility. He is the older brother, and naturally should take care of Ashley. He realized that Ashley is incredibly insecure about herself, and he needs to show his love to her in order to be a good brother. That's why he folded and surrendered to Ashley's idea the moment Ashley cried. Now Andrew is a child as well. Compared to an older parental figure such as their parents, who would have realized what they're doing is wrong, at time and moments, he being only 10 years old cannot tell yet if it's a bad decision. In the end, all of this causes by Miss Graves abandoning parenting. If she did care for Ashley, she don't need to depend on Andrew alone, and Nina didn't have to die to reaffirm Andrew loves Ashley. If being irresponsible and not caring for your children doesn't push them to the edge yet, then you need to try this step. Miss Andrew literally sells her children to an organ trafficking company. It didn't matter if she knew it was an organ trafficking organization or not, she still sold her children to the quote-unquote doctor who told her about this operation. In the end, the reason she did this was simply for a large sum of money from an insurance scam that she used to buy a nice house, without telling Andrew or Ashley. One day she just disappeared from their life, going as much as saying, "Don't call me again, I won't answer." Their father is just a spineless, mindless dog who followed Miss Graves everywhere she goes. He didn't care for his children as well. Hell, he didn't even know the name of his children. Maybe Andrew and Ashley can be fixed after all. You just need a time machine to tell Miss Graves to grow up and be a fucking parent, for God's sake.